you fill us in on Trevor? Obviously, we're aware that he went on the IL.
Sure.
Can you give us any more details on that?
Well, we spoke this morning, Trev and I and Keith, and we decided the best thing for Trev was to go on the injured list. There's still some residual soreness, some general tightness around the joint of the elbow. He wasn't going to play today, probably not going to play tomorrow, then the off day. And then, the three of us, also thought that, there's going to be a couple days for him to test this, to be able to go out in Denver and throw and hit, to some level of intensity, as opposed to just, picking up and playing. So as opposed to playing with a 3-man bench and not knowing for sure how Trev was going to react Tuesday and Wednesday when he, hopefully resumes baseball activity, we decided to place him on the injured list. But he feels better today, which is a great sign. Still a little sore. He'll continue to get treatment, this afternoon and tomorrow. Hopefully there'll be marked improvement as well, where he can get back, onto the field and start throwing and hitting, to test it, to see how he's doing, and to see if he can get to the point where, he's physically confident and also mentally confident that the elbow is ready to play.
Have you scheduled any MRIs or any tests for back in Denver yet?
I have not scheduled those. I know that Keith is working on those. Not sure when those will occur, if they do. But if they do, they will be back in Denver on either Monday or Tuesday. Now that he's on the injured list, there's not a rush, to get those scans done. But I'm assuming there will be some scans.
Okay. He had something similar, if you recall. Well, I don't know if it is similar, but he had an elbow inflammation thing in late September of 18.
Yes.
When you guys were going against the Dodgers for the NL West title.
Yes.
Is this similar?
Very similar. Yes. And that's something that we've talked about over the last couple of days. That, in Trev's words, it's very similar. And if you recall, I think he was out about a week, in 18, but very similar feeling now. But Trev said it's not as bad as it was in 18. So that's
good news.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
One more for me, and then I'll let somebody else in.
Okay.
John's watching at home on TV. John's fastball command seemed off. It seemed like he was running out of the strike zone a lot, and that got him behind in counts. At least that's what I saw. I'm curious what your take is.
Agree. I thought that, I think it started with the fastball. Overall, wasn't as crisp as we've seen it, velocity and control of it. It did. I got to watch the video, but looked as though there was a lot of horizontal movement, especially when he was trying to go into left. There was what 7 left-handed hitters in the lineup, and he just couldn't get that ball into the lefty. It kept running back out over the plate, and when he tried to go away from the lefty, it looked like it was running off the plate. So, the fastball control, was poor today from John, let alone the command. And I don't think he had his best slider too. Again, I think he was, in a spot today that happens. If you make 33 or 34 starts, you're going to have days like today where you're not sharp, and John was just not sharp today.
Okay, thank you.
Danielle.
Do you think the rain had any impact on the pitchers today?
No. Actually, I thought it was a pretty decent day to pitch. The wind was blowing in. It was cool. It wasn't windy. It was comfortable as a player. But I don't think the rain wasn't intense enough, I think, to cause any difficulties for the pitchers.
Okay. Thank you.
Manny. Hey, buddy. Obviously there's pretty much always a lot of talk about the Coors hangover for hitters, but um, going out on the road, particularly for John Gray, but pretty much for anybody, how much of it is an adjustment in terms of the movement on the pitches? For example, with John today, perhaps he had a little bit. It seemed like he had a little bit too much run, maybe for some of the pitches that he wanted to have. So,
Well,
what is
there
that like in your
yeah.
opinion?
Well, there is an adjustment for sure that you have to make, but again, John, this is his sixth year of pitching in the big leagues, and he's aware of what he needs to do to, get the ball in the strike zone. Today, he wasn't able to do it. So the awareness is there that the ball, for pitchers is going to have a little bit more movement, and especially in a day like today where, it's heavy air, a little bit muggy, even though it was drizzling, but, we have to make adjustments for that as pitchers. And John couldn't quite get that today. He couldn't quite get there, commanding the movement, but again, he just didn't have a great feel for his fastball. And I'm not sure that, the increased movement was the factor. I think that he just didn't have, great feel for the ball. And I don't think it was because of the weather either. I think it was just, one of those games out of 33 or 34 that he just didn't pitch well.
Do you think there's something is there any sort of pattern you see to his road woes this year? I mean, he's been great at Coors, but obviously on the road, he's had his problems.
He's had some problems. I don't think so. We haven't identified anything that, that really is startling or anything that really stands out. We're going to look at it. We're going to look at it a little closer, which we do every start, to see if there is a common factor there that, for John, that's causing these, road troubles.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Couple more from Patrick.
Yeah, one more for me, buddy, and I suppose this could wait until after game 2, but your offensive struggles on the road just
Right.
continue.
Yes.
And I know we keep harping on it, but it's one of the reasons you're not winning.
Right.
What is the attitude that we don't get to talk to the guys? So what is the level of frustration? What is their take on all of this right now? Can you share that with us?
Well, again, we talk all the time, and I'm not sure. I think you could talk to them. I think you can set that up with, with our public relations staff. Maybe not in between games, but prior to games and after games. I mean, I know you talk to the starting pitchers a lot. I think you can, potentially request players, but the players are. I mean, they're frustrated. They have confidence. They think they can. Obviously, they think they can do the job. As part of being a major leaguer. But, a lot of these guys are going through this for, I wouldn't say the first time, Patrick, but, a lot of their road at bats are not high volume. So we got to just continue to, get in the cage, continue to work, continue to talk about it. And, potentially, again, if certain guys are pressing, we got to get them to lighten up. If certain guys are overthinking, we got to get them to not. But we can't seem to get the big hit. We had a couple times today where we had some guys on base, couldn't quite get the big hit. The Pirates strung some hits together in their innings and some walks. We didn't really we drew a couple walks today. Had a couple knocks, but we couldn't really string them together. And that's been happening on the road more than ever, it seems, this season. But again, the Nunez, the Diaz, the Fuentes, Rogers, Hampson, Daza. I mean, these guys are going through this, from game 1 of 162. Hopefully until the end, if they stay here the whole year, that they're learning this firsthand. So I know they had some time last year in 60 games, 30 road games, but now you're talking a real big sample of road games as we move forward, And, hopefully they'll figure it out as we move ahead and do much better on the road statistically.
I know there's the old adage that hitting is contagious, that, one hit
Right.
feeds another. Can it work in the opposite way? Where
Sure.
especially with young guys where they don't have guys around them hitting, they, as you mentioned, might be pressing. For whatever reason, maybe not hitting is contagious, maybe slumping is contagious.
Yeah, no, I think it's true. I definitely think hitting is contagious. It's seen when guys are hitting. I think the guys who aren't, it takes a little pressure off them. And they end up hitting because they're a little bit more relaxed because everybody around them is hitting and they want to join the party. And then I think it works the other way as well. When guys aren't hitting, the guys who maybe feel good at the plate are trying a little bit too hard. So I think it can work both ways, to your point, for sure.
Okay, thank you.